Good morning. This is Ken Savaraman coming to you with a video review of the TopHat, specifically the one in the middle, the 26650 TopHat prototype. So this has been a while in the coming. I saw this specific mod at Vape Summit in Houston a few weeks ago. Just fell in love with it. Everything about it, the form factor, the hand feel, the lack of voltage drop. We'll get to all that. So what you see in front of you are, I guess we'll call them three different iterations of a TopHat, right? So the first is the classic TopHat. This is, I think Steve calls this jester wood. I call it mine. This is number 58, and I just think this is one of the prettiest mods he's ever made. In fact, I think it is actually the prettiest mod he has ever made, and I'm quite fortunate to own it. So let me bring it up here. So quite fortunate to own it. Very happy with it. SXJ chip works great. 9.3 watts. Wow. Okay. Love it. So this is the first iteration. You could argue second or third. We'll call it second for the sake of being consistent. This one is 18650. The second current iteration of 18650 is this one. This happens to be a clear version that Steve built, which I am fortunate enough to own. It has a titanium frame, and again, he's torched the frame to give it sort of this purple patinate effect. This thing is incredibly light. It is, I mean, I even made a joke that I think the atomizer is actually heavier than the mod. It's light as hell, and it like every TopHat, it feels so good in the hand. It's perfect. It's this pronounced radius here, really does wonders for hand feel, and I just love it. I love this one. And you can see how clean it is on the inside. All of his mods are this way. They're so clean and so well done and so well executed. You just can't help but love him. I mean, he's already a world-class modder in my book. But we're not here to talk about the 18650 mods. We're here today to talk about this guy, the 26650 titanium frame TopHat prototype. Now, this is a prototype. I know he's making some design changes in this guy here shortly, or actually they're already underway. But as I said, I got to walk around Vape Summit with this. I used it quite extensively, and just loved the way it felt in my hand. It just, your thumb, I can't seem to. There you go. Your thumb naturally wants to gravitate towards this position right here. So having this at an angle just really makes so much sense. It's a very natural hand feel. There is virtually no voltage drop. In fact, I compared this to the Barracuda Imperial, which I know for a fact has negligible voltage drop, and this vaped every bit as well. In fact, I even made that comment to Steve on how well this vaped. So just incredible mod. Attention to detail. I mean, the guy puts a wood button that matches the wood on the mod. There's no gaps, no seams, no anything. I mean, it's just so well made. It feels incredibly well in the hand. And here's the thing, right? You look at these two mods, 18650, 26650. Put them side by side. Oops, this way. There's virtually no size difference between these. You put them down on the ground or on a table, side by side. They are the exact same height. Look at the spine end of this. There's, yeah, I mean, the 26650 battery is definitely bigger than the 18650 battery, but let me tell you, not by very much. I mean, he took a fantastic approach. He said, let me make this mod as small as it can possibly be for being what is effectively a C-frame 26650 mod. I got to tell you, Steve, mission accomplished. This thing is has incredible hand feel. I actually like the larger, because I happen to have large hands. It fits so well in my hand. Great positive grip, and again, with this button being right here, I can hit it with, you know, the middle of my thumb, the tip of my thumb, whatever. It just, you know, you can hear it going there. It just works. I mean, wood buttons for the up and down, wood buttons for the fire. You got your USB port here. You've got the, of course, the SXJ chip in the mod itself. Titanium frame. It's got the battery cap. Now I know he's changing the battery cap. This one you might notice is actually sticking out a little bit. That's because I've got a 5200 milliamp hour battery in here, which tend to run very large. So you know, the fact that this is sticking out, that's actually fairly commonplace for virtually every 26650 mod I put in there. So the tube size is absolutely correct. It's the battery that's in the wrong. The top of the mod, let's look at this real quick. Let me pull this out. So Steve uses his own 510, I believe. There's a little adjustment screw in there. But notice there's no round plate. There's no, like the Veritube. There's no round plate. It's integral. This is integral to the mod. He uses these tamper-proof screws throughout the mod so that people don't, you know, take things apart and mess with his work. Steve does phenomenal work. I'm so impressed between the wood buttons and the inlay work, which of course he's incredibly famous for. Just amazing mod, and it's so light. You would think with a 26650 battery, you would think this would be heavy. It is incredibly light. In fact, I would venture to say that the battery itself is actually quite a bit heavier than the mod. I can feel the weight when I hold it in my hand. The weight is all back here where the battery is. The mod itself weighs virtually nothing because the wood doesn't have a lot of weight, and certainly the titanium frame doesn't have a lot of weight. So all the weight is in the battery, and it definitely feels like it. It feels excellent in the hand. You actually couldn't even tell if you were, you know, carrying this around, right? So you take this TopHat, the prototype, and you take this TopHat, which is a production version 18650, and from a hand feel weight standpoint, I think they weigh about the same. Now this one has a metal frame. It has an aluminum frame, or I apologize, stainless steel frame. This has a titanium frame, so that makes all the difference in the world. The weight of this mod is negligible. It feels so good in the hand. Man, I just love carrying this thing. I love vaping on it. Again, the power delivery on this mod is phenomenal. It just vapes really, really well. I don't have to unnecessarily turn up the wattage or the temperature to be able to vape the way I like to vape, which is fairly hot, and just it's very well made. Just, you know, attention to detail. Even the curves I'm sorry. Even the angles, they're kind of curved, right? They're not hard, aggressive edges here. And even this, I don't know if you can get a sense of appreciation for this. So if you look, you would think at this edge right here, you would think you'd be able to see clear to the other side of the mod, but you can't, because the edge actually occurs around a radius, because this whole front plate is bowed out. So the edge also bows out. It's an incredible piece of engineering and fit and finish. And to get all that to mate so well with the wood. I mean, I just can't say enough about Steve's work. I think his mods speak for themselves. Certainly the prices at raffle and auction speak for themselves, but just knocked it out of the park. I truly love this mod. It is going to be a force to be reckoned with, I guarantee you. So here it is, the 26650 prototype TopHat from Steve Dockery. Thank you, Steve. I will always appreciate this. Take care.